Hello everyone, how have you been? Today's topic is ain't. All right. So let's see, what does ain't mean? Okay. And we are going to look at some sentences, and then we are going to learn how to form questions and double negatives with ain't. We'll reflect upon certain points to remember, and towards the end, we have few questions to solve. Okay. All right. So what does ain't mean? Ain't is a contraction. So before that, we need to know what's a contraction. Contraction is when we join two words together, we omit certain words, and in their place, we put an apostrophe. For example, is not, isn't. We removed O from here, and we have put an apostrophe there. If you notice, these are all negative verb forms. Why? Because ain't stands for 5 negative verb forms. Okay, let's look at them. Am not, is not, are not, has not, have not. These 5, that's it. Only 5 negative verb forms. So ain't stands for them. Okay, it's a contraction for these 5. All right, now let's look at the first set of examples. Now it's used in two ways. Be form or have. Be form, as we know, to be, that is am not, is not, are not in the negative sense, and have not, has not. So the first part has the be form, that is MR plus not. Okay. Now, I'm not a painter. Here, am not, I have changed and put in ain't. Okay, so am not, in place of am not, you can write ain't. I ain't a painter. Okay, he is not your neighbor. He ain't your neighbor. She is not at fault. She ain't at fault. You're not going anywhere. You ain't going anywhere. Okay, we are not playing football. We ain't playing football. They are not weak. They ain't weak. Okay, so did you notice am not, is not, are not replaced, and in their place we have put ain't. One more tip. Okay, why do we use contractions? For fluency. Okay, so instead of saying going go, drop this G sound here. So you can say you ain't going nowhere. You ain't going anywhere, not nowhere. Sorry, that's double negative. I'm sorry for that. You ain't going anywhere. Going. Okay, need not say going go sound. So you ain't going anywhere. Since it's informal, it's accepted. Okay. Now, this is the second way. Okay. Hasn't, haven't. So he hasn't got the keys. He ain't got the keys. She hasn't divulged the truth. She ain't divulged the truth. I haven't watched this movie. I ain't watched this movie. You haven't bought the car. You ain't bought the car. Okay. We haven't completed the task. We ain't completed the task. So hasn't and haven't replaced. And what have we used? Ain't. Brilliant. Clear? Okay. Now let's move on to the next part, that is forming questions with ain't. Now, before you attempt this one, you must know how to form questions. Okay. Now, always remember that we don't say amn't in English. It's am not. So when we want to make a question with that, the negative form of am, we put I in the middle. Okay, I comes in the middle. Am I not a painter? Okay, amn't I? We don't say like that. Okay, so am I not a painter? Ain't I a painter? Isn't he your neighbor? Ain't he your neighbor? Aren't we playing football? Ain't we playing football? Again, drop the G sound. Playing. Okay. Hasn't he got the keys? Ain't he got the keys? Okay. Now here again, I have dropped the T sound. Got the keys. I didn't say got. I said, ain't he got the keys? Got the keys? Okay, quickly. Next. Haven't we completed the task? Ain't we completed the task? All right, so this is how we form questions with ain't. Next, form double negatives, okay? Now, the native speakers, like Americans, ain't is American, okay? So the native speakers use no with ain't, okay? Double negatives. They follow ain't with a negative, okay? How? Let's learn that. I haven't got a clue means I have no clue, right? So I ain't got no clue. So replace a with no. Second one, you aren't a fool. You ain't no fool. Make it double negative, ain't. Not is already present in ain't. Along with that, we are using no. So ain't no. Again, drop the sound of t, ain't no. You can say ain't no, ain't no. Now, we aren't going anywhere. So we ain't going nowhere. Nowhere. Let's look at the next one. He hasn't got any friend. He ain't got no friend. Do you notice something? No, not yet. Okay. Let's read the fifth one. We haven't done anything. We ain't done nothing. Yes, I'm sure you got it by now. Any, replace any with no to make a negative. Okay, for example, anywhere, nowhere. Anything, nothing. Anyone, no one. Okay, that's how you form negatives. Okay, so if you see here, the third one, we aren't going anywhere, we ain't going nowhere. Okay, now, points to remember. Okay, ain't is a casual word. It's highly informal. Do not use it in formal writings. Do not use it while speaking in a formal setup or formal situation. Okay, if you're writing a story and if your character is a cowboy, okay, so and you have to write his dialogues, so then you can use ain't. Okay, you must have come across ain't in movies or songs. So musicians use it, filmmakers use it. You can use it with friends or family members, but never in a formal context. Okay. Ain't is used in two ways. As I said earlier, the be form and the have form. Be form, am not, is not, are not. And the second one, has not and have not. Okay. Do not use it in formal context. I repeat, please do not use it. Okay. Next, never use it in past tense. Never. It stands only for these five that you see here in the box. These five specific. Okay, I'm stressing upon this point. Only these five negative verb forms. Do not use it in past tense. Also know the context. Since ain't stands for five of these, you have to know the context. Okay, so that you can use it in a better way. Now, why do I say do not use it in a formal context? Because ain't stands for all five of these, okay, in the box. Now, if you use ain't, people might think that you don't know much about subject-verb agreement, and that's why you are using ain't. Okay, so avoid using ain't in formal context. Professionals, working professionals, or educators, they don't use ain't. I don't use ain't when I'm giving my classes to my students. Okay, but otherwise, yes, why not? It's cool. It sounds cool, right? All right. Now, questions. Okay, you have got questions here, 5 of them. Pause the video, attempt the answers, and then play the video to check your answers. Okay. So the first one, I'm not a singer. I ain't a singer. It isn't rocket science. It ain't rocket science. They aren't going anywhere. They ain't going anywhere. Perfect. He hasn't got money. He ain't got money. You haven't done anything. You ain't done anything. How many of you got it correct? Very good. Pat your back. Great. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Yes, make double negatives. Pause the video and write your answers and then play it. Okay. All right. The first one. I'm not a singer. I ain't no singer. It isn't rocket science. It ain't no rocket science. They aren't going anywhere, any. Remember that? They ain't going nowhere. He hasn't got money. He hasn't got no money or no cash. Okay. You haven't done anything. Again, anything. You ain't done nothing. All right. Do we have another slide? No, that's the end of it. Your class lesson. All right. So I hope the concept of ain't is clear to you. Please do not ever use it in formal writing or in a formal situation, because I told you, people might think you don't know subject verb agreement. Okay, you don't have a clue about it. Also, use it extensively if you can, in order to get a hang of this word. Okay, how to form questions, how to form double negatives, how to drop the g or t sound in order to sound like a pro, like a native. Okay. Now, if you have any question, please let me know. Please try to frame your own sentences with ain't and put it in the comment section below. It's going to help other learners here. And if there is any topic you would like me to make a video on, please let me know. I'd be delighted to do that for you. Okay, so keep learning, stay blessed, stay safe.